What's up, everybody? It's your boy, the King Jace. Uh, like I always do, I want to say thank you to everybody that watches the videos. I appreciate your time. You can find me everywhere. If you want to leave a comment, that'd be greatly appreciated. We're lacking in those. As you can see, my beautiful wife is here with me tonight, so I'll probably get a lot of views on this video. We wanted to talk about marriages and how
continuing to date your spouse.
Boom. We also wanted to say that we went and seen this. What's the name of the movie we watched?
The Crimes of Grindelwald.
Oh, really good movie.
So good. It was so
really good movie. So thank you very much, Auntie. We really needed that.
It was amazing. It's like the adult version of Harry Potter. Amazing. There was like 3 times where I was just sitting there with my mouth hanging open and I just...
Really good movie. It's a really good movie. We really liked it. We definitely want to talk about this relationship stuff. So let's talk about this relationship, marriage, making it work, going on dates, making sure that you spend time with your significant other and find time to spend with them. We have some statistics.
We do. We have lots of interesting stuff. So Jace and I, as everybody knows, we got married pretty quickly. And last night I was saying to him that right now we probably should be dating still. But whatever.
So I said I could move out and get my own apartment if that's where we're supposed to be. She said
no. No. So anyway, so there's a lot of opinions about our relationship, but one of the things is this is not our first marriages. This is definitely not our first relationships. So it's one of those, like, I've been in long-term relationships that were great at the beginning, failed at the end, relationships that were just crap all the way through. Jace also has had the same exact experiences. We pretty much married the same people at one point, just different genders. So it's like, we just didn't see a point in waiting. What's the point? If we're going to fail in 10 years, we're going to fail whether we're married or we're dating. If we're going to fail in 2 months, it's going to happen whether we're married or dating. It's whatever. So anywho, because of the fact that we're not dating and we are married, we skipped the whole dating thing, basically.
I mean, we went on a few dates, but not like you should.
Right. So now we date, even though we're married, and it's awesome. And I think it makes our marriage even better because instead of like doing nothing and just hiding in the house being whatever all day, we do stuff together. We hang out together. We do stuff. So I think it's important for couples who are married, not married, especially long-term people that have been in relationships for a long time.
Time out. I just want to say to any guys that are watching, it's the little things that really matter. Just so you know, it's really the little things. So coming home and having like a flower or a snack, or it's the little things. It really is. You got to find out what your woman likes, and at certain points, just randomly, you got to just get this stuff that they like. So randomly, just don't say anything and just show up with some fucking gummy bears and it will be pie. That's what I do.
Or flowers at work like he does.
I just randomly show up and I'll be like...
And it doesn't have to cost a lot of money. If you don't have the money for it, that's cool. Just literally sit down with a piece of paper and write out a note telling her that you love her and just show up with it when you pick her up from work.
Or get up early and make her breakfast like I do.
Or a cup of coffee if they don't eat breakfast. Like, there's always something. There's always something that you can do anyway.
We were spending tons of money on Dunkin' Donuts for breakfast wraps. So I got up and I started making her breakfast wraps at home.
And they're delicious. But anywho, so I think it's important that people in any kind of relationship, specifically long-term relationships, continue to date the person they're with, even if they're married to them. Because it's important that you
especially
keep that relationship. Right, because you started out as, like friends. You were friends to begin with. You guys started seeing each other because you enjoyed the same things. And if it turns into just working and children and cleaning and working and children and cleaning, and you never do anything together
Then you're
anymore,
more like roommates.
then you're just going to start separating. You guys don't have anything in common anymore. You guys don't do anything together anymore, and it becomes this routine that you just never get out of. And then next thing you know, you resent each other because neither of you do anything for each other, and it's just a mess. So I think it's important to take a few minutes of your day or your week and do something with your significant other. Go to the movies. Go grocery shopping together without your children.
I think a lot of people these days forget that marriage isn't always about family. And sometimes marriage is about just doing what you and your wife or you and your husband want to do for a moment. We get it. If you got kids, you got kids. If you don't have kids, that's good for you. You get to freely enjoy life.
For the most part.
But when you have, for real, but when you have children, I get it. You give up a certain part of yourself and your life always for those children.
And every decision you make in the end is based
it's gonna affect your children. I just think that people get that stigma like, oh, if we get married, then we'll never get to spend time with each other, so what's the point of getting married? That's stupid, but that's not true. You make the time.
Right. Make your other person, whoever you're with, boyfriend, girlfriend, fiance, spouse.
I was showing a little bit of my belly. I apologize.
Just take a few minutes with that person. Talk about something. Do something together. Take a class together. Make a video together. Go to a movie.
We do videos.
Go for a walk. Even if it takes 5 minutes, something, so that the two of you are doing something, just the two of you, for a few minutes.
And I also think that it's important that you be spontaneous sometimes. It is okay to be spontaneous with your significant other sometimes, as long as they're cool with that kind of stuff. I don't know. Some women might be like, don't like surprises. Who knows? I don't know. Everybody's different.
Listen.
Everyone is different.
People anxiety. I'm sorry.
Everybody's different.
Going this way. But anyway, so then I was looking up with Jace some stuff about like dating and good relationships and things like that. Like for statistics on good stuff. There's nothing on the internet about percentages of good marriages or good relationships, or there's really nothing on married, but there's tons of stuff on divorce, which is crazy. So then we were looking at it, and it looks like in the United States last year, there were 60.8 million people married. It didn't specify on what type of marriage it was, just that
could be
it
same
was a
sex,
married
could
couple.
be opposite sex, just
Right.
married in general.
And it says that people of a higher income have an 11% chance of divorce, and lower income is 17% chance of divorce.
And you hear that and you think automatically it's probably because of money, but it's really not.
It's really not. I was kind of surprised. I thought money issues would be number one.
But it's more of the lower percentage.
So 40 to 50% of all marriages end in divorce, and most of them last 10 to 14 years. Yeah.
So it's every 10 years, a 10-year marriage is getting flushed down the drain.
I kind of feel like it's once the kids become adults is almost what it seems like. Most people are together for a few years before they have a baby. And if they last about 14 years, then that kid has now become an adult. And I feel like a lot of people might stay together for their children.
I think that's stupid.
We'll stay married because we don't want our child growing up in a broken home. Take it from me. I grew up in a home where my parents did not want to be married and were married because they had children. And it was not awesome. Your kids, they know. Whether you think they know, they can feel it.
I think that's stupid because me personally, I'm like, I can't wait for them to grow up and get the fuck out of the house because then we're going to have some fun. Then we can do whatever the fuck we want. Why would you think the whole time like, oh, let's just be together for the kids?
Right.
I think that it's actually going to hurt the kids in the long run because then they're going to come to realize
it
at some
a lot
point.
Of things for kids, like how they view marriage and relationships.
For real, because then when they get older and you tell them, like, well, because they might ask you, like, why did you guys get divorced? And you guys say, oh, well, we were only with each other because we wanted to make sure that you guys had both parents while you grew up. Then they'd be like, well, wait, whoa.
Totally, me and my brothers were talking about
so my whole
this
childhood was a lie?
Exactly. That's exactly what happens. Me and one of my brothers were talking one day about marriage and relationships, and I had said to him, I always wanted what mom and dad had. I just remember that my dad was so in love with my mom, like over the moon for my mother forever, for my whole childhood. And then at 18, I believe I was, and I'm the youngest, so at 18, they got divorced. And I remember saying to my mom, like, why? Like, I don't understand. You guys were so in love. And she was, no, she hadn't wanted to be in that marriage for years. And it was like this shock. Like, it just completely ruined my whole idea of marriage and relationships. And do people just lie throughout all of their relationships? Is that what it is? Like, it just totally messed us up to realize that 23 years of marriage that my parents had, and the majority of it, they didn't even want to be together. They just did it because they had kids.
And that's crazy. It's not right for the kid.
Mm-hmm. And like us, we both have children with our previous spouses. We did not stay for the children. When my son, Tristan, was barely 2, I don't even think he was 2 yet, I was out. See ya. Peace. I'm not sticking around for my children because I did not want them growing up thinking that the marriage that I was living in was what a marriage should be. I wanted them to have a better idea of marriage.
I think
I don't know about you. You bailed while Casey was a baby too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Out. See ya. That's not a wife.
I actually took a little bit of time to gather my thoughts. I went and visited my aunt in Georgia. And shout out to my aunt Laura. You look out for me whenever I needed you. You've always been there for me. I appreciate that. I went there and I just had to clear my head. I was in the same position. Like, I was in a relationship that wasn't productive. And it wasn't even that I was in it. And the crazy thing is, I wasn't even really it wasn't a relationship in the aspect of a partnership. It was like we had a baby together and now we're just trying to co-parent but in the same space. And it was too much. I think you can't do that.
Yeah,
I don't think you can't do that.
Drastic views on parenting.
For real, because
it's crazy.
If one of the two people is going to feel some type of way,
yeah.
Irregardless, you can say that you don't, but someone's going to feel some type of way. And my situation was proof of that. Like, I don't want to be with you, but I'm trying to be here because I'm being here for my kid. But if then the other person's like, well, if you don't want to be here for me, then you're not here for the kid.
Right. Another huge one of those parenting issues that we discussed with the pettiness. If I'll use my child against you for that. Mine was different. I didn't have that issue. I literally packed up my children, moved to Massachusetts to my aunt's house, and that was the end of that marriage. I found out that they were a completely different person than they had originally said that they were. Horrible human being. So, yeah, I got out of that. But anyway.
On a more positive note, I want you guys to see this.
Totally unmarriage related. But it is a good point in the sense this is my hobby. I love to crochet. I'll crochet anything for anybody. This little baby sweater that I made.
It's a baby sweater. It is so
He's also
cute.
wearing a baby blanket that I made.
It is warm. Look at this thing.
Okay.
Look at the quality in this thing. Good quality.
Anyway, so that's my hobby. This is Jace's hobby. This video. So it's good to have, hobbies also, things to do on your own that
I like to do the videos, and I like to play video games.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to live my life.
But it's good I think, for couples, for them to have hobbies or friends or things to do outside of each other so that they have something to talk about. Because if all you do is things together, constantly together, like work and each other, what are you guys going to talk about?
It's the same
work every day. Right. It's the same conversation every single day to the point where you no longer have that, why ask them how work went? It's going to be exactly the same as yesterday. Why ask them how their day was? It's exactly the same as yesterday. So let's
This is true, but I still ask her how her day is.
No, I'm saying people who don't have other things to do, don't have anything to talk about, that eventually they'll have nothing to talk about because it's the same thing every day. So eventually the conversation just stops.
Maybe that's what drives them apart, because then they don't have conversation. They're not talking.
Right. Oh, so we were reading this thing and it says that, so as we know, Jace is my second husband. I am his third wife. And it says 50% of first marriages fail. Half just done. 67% of second marriages fail, and 73% of third marriages fail. Not good. And then we looked up the reasons for all these divorces. So 43%, the number one reason, which is 43% of marriages, end up in divorce over basic incompatibility.
Meaning
they just don't like each other.
You don't see eye to eye.
You know what?
Something came up where it bothered the other person to the point where they just didn't want to be married to them no more.
I kind of feel like this has a lot to do with our society now, though, because people don't get to know each other anymore before they jump into things. So they meet for a hookup or they meet for whatever reason, and that's the only thing that they really know about each other, and they have that big love bubble, and they end up getting married, and then all of a sudden 3 years later you've got kids and a house and bills and a mortgage and this, that, and the other thing, and you cannot stand who that other person is because you never took the time to figure out who that person was before you got married. Thank you, social media.
I just took a leap.
I guess we're special. Anyway, number two reason, which is 28% of marriages fail due to infidelity.
Meaning either the man can't keep his dick in his pants or the woman can't get off her back. Like, that's just how it goes.
It's not all the girl, it's not all the guy. Both of them do it. Let's see. And then third is 22% is money issues. I thought for sure that was going to be number one. It's not. It's number 3, 22%. So that's all we look at.
It's mostly women leaving men because the men can't have monies.
You don't have monies? I'm not leaving.
Well, I'll get monies.
I know you're just with me for my...
I always get money.
My $800 paycheck.
I can't say why I'm with you.
I know. Family and young people watch. Anywho. Anyway, so I think it is important, though, that you continue dating like we were talking about. So we go out every pay period. We get paid bi-weekly. So every 2 weeks, we try to go out and we go to Warwick Wings.
We go to Boneheads.
Boneheads
has the best wings, and if you don't know, go on Google and Google them, and you'll see the pictures I take.
Warwick.
I take pictures. My pictures. I have a lot of views. So I have over 100,000 views on my pictures.
That you could imagine, and they're weird. They're like good weird. So our favorite is mac and cheese wings, and then they have one that's the lobster
Mozambique sauce.
Yeah, Mozambique sauce or Biki. I don't know how to say that.
Mozambique sauce.
And then there's my favorite, which is Breakfast at Tiffany's, and it's maple with bacon. And Jace's is called Strawberry Fields.
Strawberry Fields forever.
It's delicious. But anyway, definitely check out Boneheads. But that's our usual date. We just love that place.
Shania just went there.
Shania and Manny did. They did, yeah.
Manny.
We try to convince everybody. Speaking of Manny.
Manny from...
let's talk about some washi.
Right here. From...
Manuel.
Washi. Luxury Detailing. You gotta throw that out there.
Anyway, they just checked that place out.
And
actually, they might go there regularly.
While I'm throwing a shout out, I gotta do my normal shout out to my cousin.
Speaking of, so here we go. Buy their meats, and then the two of you make dinner together in the kitchen as a date night. It takes half an hour. Sit down, take some delicious pork chops from Ryan and Alicia.
For real.
Whip that up in a skillet.
And have yourself a fucking date night.
But we go to, so anyway, like I was saying, we try to go to Boneheads when we get paid as our date, so it's time away from the kids. But there's been times where literally the only date we can squeeze in is shopping at BJ's.
Or doing the laundry.
Or, oh my God, I love going to do the laundry with him. It's hilarious. And it takes us like 2 hours. The kids don't even know that we're gone. They could care less. And, they know we're gone, but you know what I mean. Anyway, but it's important.
Our children are old enough to be home alone.
Right.
Just so everybody knows.
Teenagers. We're not leaving a 3-year-old home alone. But we do stuff. And then sometimes we can't go on date night. So instead, we'll do stuff with the boys. We'll play board games. We'll watch movies together. We'll read books together. We'll do whatever. So we always find time to spend time together. And if that doesn't happen, I mean, before you go to sleep, lay down in bed, cuddle that person, and just tell them you love them and ask how their day was and try to sound like you mean it. It's better than nothing. Just make sure you don't lose that connection.
Every night before we go to bed for like at least an hour, we watch shows together.
He's so warm. That's how I warm up at the end of the day because my office is freezing. I got popsicle toast.
Speaking of, it is getting late.
It is.
So we are going to be out of here. So if you like the topic of conversation, by all means, please comment. We already know 100 people are going to watch this show because my wife is on it.
But no one's going to comment.
There's going to be 30 views. I know there's going to be 30 views. I can't see who you are, but I'll find you. I'm just playing.
Anyway, go see the new Harry Potter movie. Well, it's not Harry Potter, but it's Crimes of Grindelwald.
Great, that was a great movie.
Just amazing.
The graphics on that movie were phenomenal.
And then go order some meat from Ryan and Alicia, and then go home and make a meal with your spouse. Take 20 minutes, half an hour with them. It doesn't matter.
And real quick, I just want to say, Dishonored 2 is a really good game. I was talking about it earlier.
It's awesome.
I forgot to mention, it is also made by Bethesda. So yet another game made by Bethesda that's fucking amazing. And yet Fallout 76 is a fucking atrocity. So on that note, you guys have a great night. If you like what you see, comment. Please tell your family, tell your friends. If you want something to say it. We got something to talk about. Let's talk about it. Have a good night. I'm out of here.